She's so fine. Hell on hell of her blows my mind. Hell on hell of her lights my day.
What's good, guys? Today is Wednesday, March the 8th, 2023. This story is coming out of Louisville, Kentucky. And for those that can't tell from my accent, that is not too far from me. Actually, about an hour and a half. And I want to thank Cassie Alvera for sending this story to me. But the U.S. Department of Justice has sunk their teeth into the city of Louisville for a much needed reprimand. And let's go ahead and get into this story. Now, the United States Attorney General, Merrick Garland, came to Louisville today to announce the Department of Justice findings from the investigation that they have done into the Louisville Metro Police Department and the Louisville Metro government. They produced an 86-page report after a 2-year investigation, which was centered from the events and the fatal police shooting of Breonna Taylor. The report says there is reasonable cause to believe that the Louisville Jefferson County Metro Government and Louisville Metro Police Departments have engaged in a pattern or practice of conduct that deprives people of their rights under the U.S. Constitution and federal law. And if you're from this area, you know when you go to Louisville, you better make sure you have all of your P's and Q's because they are not going to play with you. Among many things, the report said that the Louisville Metro Police Department uses excessive force, including unjustified neck restraints and unreasonable use of police dogs and stun guns, conducts searches based on invalid warrants, unlawfully executes search warrants without knocking and announcing, unlawfully stops, searches, detains, and arrests people during street enforcement activities, including traffic and pedestrian stops, unlawfully discriminates against black people in its enforcement activities, violates the rights of people engaged in protected speech critical of policing, and discriminate against people with behavioral health disabilities when responding to them in a crisis situation. Now, we've seen many of the police responses to crisis situations, and a lot of the times it does not end well. Now, the bulk of this report gives an extensive overview of the background leading up to its investigations and the method by which it went about the investigation itself. It gives detailed descriptions and justifications of each of the above violations, which are the violations I just mentioned. Now, shortly before Merrick Garland made this announcement, he told that an LMPD, Louisville Metro Police Department leader, told him, and this is such a good summary of what's going on, that Breonna Taylor was a symptom of problems that they have had there in Louisville for years. Now, during this announcement, Merrick Garland called the Louisville Metro Police Department's conduct unacceptable and heartbreaking. He said they didn't just find problems with civil rights violations, they also found problems with the department's response to sexual assaults and domestic violence. He said it is an affront to the people of Louisville who deserve better. Now, Merrick Garland said that the Metro Louisville and the U.S. Department of Justice have agreed, in principle, to a federal consent decree. And it commits that Metro Louisville will work on changes with an independent monitor. And actually, Merrick Garland said that Louisville had already begun to make some very commendable changes, but there is so much more that needs to be done. He recommended 36 remedial measures for improvement toward the end. Whew, it was really a blazing report coming from the Department of Justice. Now, the measures that they want taken include enhanced use of force policies, improved policies related to confidential informants, improved training related to search warrant requests and serving said warrants, consistent use and review of body cameras, street enforcement training, expansion of the mobile crisis team, creating a true crisis intervention team, accepting all civilian complaints, improved training for internal affairs, improving civilian oversight, improving facilities, improving officer health and wellness programs, and improved training on responding to allegations of sexual assault and domestic violence. The report ended by saying that the Department of Justice looks forward to working with the Metro Louisville Police Department and government in implementing its recommendations. And it called for a starting point for ending Louisville Metro's and the Louisville Metro Police Department's pattern or practice of unlawful conduct.
With that breaking news, a scathing report from the Justice Department. The DOJ says that Louisville police engaged in a pattern of unlawful and discriminatory conduct.
Now, this report comes after a nearly 2-year review that was launched after the death of Breonna Taylor. Taylor was killed nearly 3 years ago in a botched police raid. Joining us now, NBC News correspondent Ron Allen and Justice and Intelligence correspondent Ken Delaney. And Ron, let's start with you here. Walk us through the specifics of the DOJ findings here, and is there any response from Louisville police at this point?
Well, it's a scathing report, and basically it says that it's a pattern and practices investigation, and it says that there are policies embedded in the way the Louisville Police Department does business that are discriminatory and that violate the citizens' rights. For example, the report says that the department uses excessive force, searches based on invalid warrants, which is at the heart of the Breonna Taylor case, does no-knock warrants, conducts unlawful stops and searches, on and on and on. Discriminates against people with behavioral disabilities and discriminates against black people specifically. So again, the result of a 2-year investigation. Here's some of what Merrick Garland, the Attorney General, had to say about the report.
Some officers have demonstrated disrespect for the people they are sworn to protect. It is heartbreaking. It erodes the community trust necessary for effective policing, and it is an affront to the vast majority of officers who put their lives on the line every day to serve Louisville with honor.
Louisville has a new mayor and police chief, and they are saying that they are there to clean up the mess of this department, essentially. What happens next is that there's a process that's formed in negotiation between the department and the city and the Justice Department. They form what's called a consent decree, which outlines in very detail, a lot of detail, specific reforms that have to be put in place, and there is a federal monitor put in place to oversee the process. It's a very, very rigorous reform process that's been undergone, that's been put in place in numerous cities across the country.
Ron, thank you. Let me turn to Ken now. Ken, you closely cover the Justice Department. How unusual is it for the DOJ to issue a report as fierce and as scathing as this one?
Vicki, these pattern and practices cases are not unusual, but this report is about as tough as I've seen. Really aggressive language in criticizing the Louisville police, even as they are announcing a consent decree and an agreement for that to reform that police force. The pattern and practice authority from the DOJ goes back to the Rodney King beating back in 1991. Congress empowered the Justice Department to do these civil investigations of police departments, and they go in there and they burrow in and they look at all the records, and there have been a lot of these. Most major police departments in the country at one time or another have been the subject of a consent decree, including New York and Los Angeles. It's a way for the Justice Department to sink their teeth and to really try to reform these police practices when local officials have been unwilling or unable to do it. Vicki.
So I definitely wanted to thank Cassie for sharing this story with me, and I definitely wanted to get it out on the channel. I go to Louisville on the regular, and like I said, you definitely want to be aware of what's going on. It's not just in your mind. Like, every one of us here have heard some type of horror story about the Louisville Metro Police Department, period. So I'm really glad that the Department of Justice took the time to comb through those files, talk to people, review everything so that they could get to the bottom of what is going on in that cesspool of a department. And hopefully This will make such a big difference in the city of Louisville. The city, it's a beautiful city, and the people there most definitely deserve better. So I just wanted to bring this to the channel, and I want to thank everybody for watching. If you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and do so, and hit the bell for notifications. Thanks for watching, guys.